If you've been backpacking for a while, or if you have gotten into the gear, you know that it's kind of an addiction that we get sucked into in wanting to try out all the things. And you've probably heard the cardinal rule is try it before you buy it. So you beg, borrow, steal, you try the thing before you invest, because backpacking gear is so personal and so preference based that it just makes sense to try something before you buy it. Otherwise, you end up with things that you don't need. Now, we also get sucked into the trap, like I have, of instead of buying the thing that is from the cottage company or from the large brand where it has all the features you want and it's a higher cost, we buy the budget item. And usually we pay less for that item, but we make a trade-off in either features or quality or what the specifications are rated for. I want to talk today about budget gear that I've purchased and whether I'm going to upgrade, whether I'm going to abandon it totally, or whether I'm just going to keep using it because it's good enough. Trekking poles. The first piece of budget gear that I want to talk about that I bought is my saw. It's a Coghlan's, I think that's how you say it. It's a Coghlan's saw, and I use it for processing wood. It's cutting, it's a tool. It cost me about $10, and the blade is super thin. It's already bent, and it binds when I cut. But the alternative costs around $50, weighs a little bit more, and has super teeth on it that just chew through wood like crazy and make life so much easier. It also doesn't bind as much. I'm sure it does in certain circumstances. And I really do want to upgrade, but I just can't justify it while I still have the tool. So I'm just going to keep this one until it falls apart or the blade breaks, and then when I get a replacement, that's when I'll upgrade past the budget item. So number one, I'm going to keep. The second item on my list of budget gear to talk about is actually this camp chair from Mountain Warehouse. It's a budget distribution, backpacking, camping store, clothing apparatus, apparel store here in Canada. It cost $40, and it's super comfortable, but I paid less so that it would be heavier. And it has quality issues like crazy. The seams are tearing apart on the pockets where the poles stick in, and the elastics that hold it together have actually come apart in a couple of spots that I've had to repair on my own, which just is a hack job. So I would be comparing this to something like the Helinox Chair Zero, which weighs about half what this weighs, and I'm assuming has no quality issues. It may not. But the price tag on that is about $200 Canadian. So the decision that I'm going to make on this is to actually abandon the chair completely. Because I also own the Thermarest seat, the Z pad, or whatever we call it. It's just a super light pad. And my backpack, the Shadow Light, has a sit pad that comes with it that it also uses as the back foam pad. So I just don't bring a chair anymore. I'll sit on something and have a seat pad underneath me, and I'm gonna just abandon this budget gear. It will come in super handy still. I mean, I keep it in my trunk because after hockey it comes in handy sitting around in the parking lot. The next piece of budget gear I want to talk about that I have is actually my sleeping pad. It's technically not budget gear, but it's the lowest end of the non-budget gear that you can buy. It's the Climate Insulated Static V. Retails for about $120 Canadian. Weighs pound and a half. And just isn't the most comfortable and doesn't keep me that warm. Steven at My Life Outdoors just did a review on sleeping pads, and he mentioned the new testing on these had an R value of 1 point something when I thought it was 4, which is funny because I've always been surprised at how cold this slept for an R value of 4. But to upgrade, I'd be looking at probably something with an R value into the 6s and 7s if I could, and something far more comfortable and probably lighter. And in order to do that, I'd probably need to spend $230 or $240, and I don't know if I'm going to do that. So my decision to keep or abandon or upgrade this piece of gear really is going to depend on the fall and the winter, and whether I decide to do very many winter backpacking trips on the ground instead of in a hammock. If I decide to do some winter trips on the ground, I will 100% upgrade this. If I don't, I will just keep this and use it in the summer for when I'm sleeping on the ground instead of in a hammock. Because that's all it's good for, is in the summer. Car. It's Quad City over there, man. Before we talk about more of my budget gear and the decisions I've made, I can't be the only one who's sucked into this trap in the past. So why don't you share in the comments some of your decisions and how you've changed and adapted your gear from budget to higher end gear, so that we can help people who may avoid the same trap we fell into. The last piece of gear, every time. The last piece of gear I want to talk about is actually the sleeping pad equivalent for a hammock. It's your bottom insulation. This is the One Tigris Cocoon Underquilt hybrid, doubles as a sleeping bag, weighs about 3 pounds, just over 3 pounds, and costs about $100. Bought it off Amazon. The challenge is it only gets me down to about 5 degrees Celsius. And if you're hiking in the mountains, that's about 1 month out of the year. In the Rocky Mountains, the temperature drops to about 0 every night, even if it's 30 degrees outside. So instead, I've already pulled the pin on an upgrade for this, and I invested in the Outdoor Vitals Stormloft Underquilt. It weighs about 1.5 pounds, so half the weight, and it costs just about $300 Canadian plus duty to get it into the country. If you are just getting into hammock camping, skip the budget stuff on the underquilt. Just go straight to a good underquilt. It will change the way you sleep in a hammock. Anyways, that's all I got. Have a good day.